But you can't fool me, Nurse Walton. I remember when you explained that the new guidelines are to let concussion patients sleep.
But that's only if there's access to brain imaging software. We don't exactly have that here.
No, but between me and you, we can assess the signs. Besides, there's only a few hours of night left. You'll be awake again before it's an issue.
Grant leaned forward and kissed Leah on the cheek.
Get some sleep.
Leah eased the chair back with a frown. She didn't like leaving Grant all alone. As she stood up, a little white fluff ball trotted up and hopped up into the chair. Faith spun around and made herself comfortable in the seat Leah just left. She smiled. That dog was something else. With one last kiss from Grant, Leah dragged her weary body upstairs. 7 a.m. Sunlight streamed through the open window as Leah gulped down another dose of fish mox. The stitched-up gash on her head barely swelled above her scalp, and almost no redness remained. All traces of the infection were gone. She wished she could say the same for the purpling bruise now spreading across the top of her cheek and up her eye socket. It hurt to touch any part of the left side of her face. The man Susie killed packed a massive punch. Thank goodness he wasn't a problem anymore. With one final look at her injuries, Leah left the bathroom. In an hour or so, they would be leaving her home behind, most likely for good. She looked at all the photos on the wall of the master bedroom. Grant, on the beach in Florida. Leah covered in mud from a 3K race up north the year before. The pair of them on their wedding day. Leah pulled down a handful of her favorite pictures, including one of her sister when she was only 14. She pulled the backs off the frames and slid the photos out. Just because she couldn't stay didn't mean she had to leave all the memories behind. She pulled one of her favorite books off the shelf and tucked the photos inside. Faulkner would keep her family warm between his pages. After tucking the book into a duffel bag, Leah hurried down the stairs. Everyone else was already awake and moving. Oliver shoved bits of electronic equipment into an oversized suitcase in the living room. Grant and Dan struggled with a tarp in the front yard. Susie sat at the kitchen table with a mug of coffee in her hands. She nodded at Leah as she came down but didn't say anything. "Are you okay?" She nodded. "If you want to talk about last night, I don't..." Leah almost winced. She couldn't imagine what Susie was going through, but she wished she could help. "Thank you. If it weren't for you," Susie held up a hand. I get it. I'll leave you be." Leah turned and walked out the front door and into the morning air. A handful of neighbors stood on their porches watching Leah's makeshift family work. It might as well have been the start of a circus tent show. She added her bag to the stack in the back of the pickup and rushed to help her husband. "Sorry it took me so long to get ready."
"You needed the sleep. How's your head?"
"Fine. My face took a beating, though." Grant glanced up at her and winced.
"Nice shiner."
"Thanks." Leah grabbed one corner of the tarp and used a zip tie to secure it to a hook on the lip of the truck bed. "Will everything fit?"
"Between the truck and the Buick, we should be fine."
Dan grunted as he secured another corner of the tarp. "How's the arm?" Dan glanced down at the bandage.
"Fine. Hurts when I bump it, that's all."
"We should change the bandage tonight." Dan nodded at Leah before getting back to work. Tension laced their little group, and Leah shared in the unease. Leaving meant venturing off into the unknown, but staying was even worse. After Greg's death, they could never trust anyone in the neighborhood. Someone would blame them. If it wasn't Jennifer and her sons, it could be Logan or any of the men who ran off the night before. As Grant finished with the tarp, Will Green, the neighborhood leader, walked up the road. He held up a hand. No one waved back.
"Looks like you all are leaving. Is that so?"
Grant rested a hand on the tarp.
"I don't think we're welcome here anymore."
Will tried to smile.
"We may have started out on the wrong foot, but that's no reason to run off."